dark of the night, whispers of deceit.
Shadows dance on the walls.
Secrets they repeat. A shadowed figure
with eyes full of lies.
hiding truths in the shadows where no one dares to pry. Uncover the truth, let the lies come undone. Peel back the layers until the light is shown. Uncover the truth, let the shadows run. Break free from the chains and find the sun. Uncover the truth in the dead of the night, where secrets lie hidden like a whispered bite. Uncover the truth in the dim of the light, where betrayals take root in the heart of the fight. In the rain-soaked streets, under the moon's pale light, a crime unfolds.
Oh, yes. All right. Here we are on Bloodlines and Betrayals. A beautiful show right before Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Coach Schumann, ready to go?
I'm ready.
We are talking about the tragic tale of not Bobby, but Brian Piccolo.
You want to say about that?
Yes. Brian Piccolo. I may have called him Brandon. I don't know. Billy Piccolo. But yeah, it was from the 1960s. And doing more research, it's much more extensive than I ever knew. I obviously watched Brian's song in junior high. But his story, I mean, I didn't know he was born in Massachusetts initially. He was born in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, and he transferred. They moved to Florida. And he ended up going to Central Catholic High, which ended up becoming St. Thomas Aquinas. And then he graduated in 1961. He was also an incredible baseball player. He had a 375 average, and he was a center fielder. He got a scholarship to Wake Forest, but at the time, as for most of its time, they were one of the worst teams in the ACC. He didn't. Freshmen, right, weren't allowed to play back then in the early 60s.
60s now.
Yeah. So he didn't play. I think just the freshman team, right? They played.
I think back then it was they may have had GV teams too. I think it was just freshmen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so too. But he didn't even play as a sophomore or a junior. And the teams he was on then were 0-10 and 1-9.
Jeez, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, 1962 and 1963. So in 1964, his senior year, he had a breakout year, which I also didn't know. He led the nation in rushing.
Oh, wow.
And he also set an ACC record with 1,044 yards rushing. He also had 111 points from 17 touchdowns and 9 extra points. And he set 9 school records, 6 conference marks, and was the ACC Player of the Year. God bless you. And he was second team All-American. And despite this, I believe they played. Was it a bowl game? No. Okay. No, he had a record 36 carries in 93-degree heat in a 20-7 win against Duke. He lost 15 pounds during the game and had to be carried off of the field. this was the only time that year, basically in the 60s, the Wake Forest didn't have a losing record. They were 5-5. Yeah, they were 5-5. It was the only time they did not have a losing record in the 60s. And he finished 10th in the Heisman voting. And he finished ahead of Joe Namath. And he also finished ahead of Gale Sayers, who was at Kansas at the time. So that is crazy to even think about. But he was just an incredible athlete. Now, back, I don't know if you knew in the 60s, do you remember how many rounds they had in the NFL draft?
I'll tell you this. Only thing I knew was back when right before I came to college, it used to be like 12 or 15. And then they changed, when I was in college, it went to 7. That's when it went to the 7.
It used to be 12. It used to be 12, and then it went to 7.
Okay. Was it 12 back then too?
No.
Or was it more?
It was 20.
It was 20.
Yeah, it was 20 rounds. Because there was not free agency or anything, and there was a lot of turnover year to year. Like if you weren't brought back to your team, you could go sign with somebody else. Teams owned your rights, so if they didn't re-sign you, they didn't re-sign you. So there was often turnover. There were 280 players selected in the 1965 NFL draft. Brian Piccolo, even after leading the nation in rushing and scoring at Wake Forest, he was not drafted. He went completely undrafted. And the thought was basically because he was 5'11", 195 pounds, not a tailback, and they thought he was too small to play fullback in the NFL. I would compare him maybe to Brian Leonard when he was at Rutgers. Yeah. Brian Leonard was phenomenal, and he didn't get a lot of looks from the NFL. So he was completely baffled by this, and it was a huge, huge blow to his own pride. And he was quoted as saying, "In my college career, I never was hurt, fumbled in over 400 carries, and I really wanted a pro try." So Piccolo received really his only opportunity from the Chicago Bears. And this has been unprecedented from then until now. George Stanley Hallis was the owner. I can't remember if he was coaching at the time. He may have been. But he had a press conference to announce Piccolo's signing, which was, again, it remains unprecedented for an undrafted player from back then until now. That never had happened before. So they had it at a media session in downtown Chicago at the Prudential Building, and Hallis basically said the pros didn't ponder a 195-pound fullback, but Piccolo is a growing boy, and they play for us between 205 and 210 next fall. So his Bears career, it was short-lived to begin with, but it didn't get off to a great start. He came in 1966. The 1965 season. He was on the practice squad. He never suited up for any games. 1966, he played in all 14 games, but only on special teams. He got 3 carries for 12 yards during the season. So in 1967, that's when things kind of changed, and that was the year Gale Sayers was drafted, and he served as Sayers' backup, and he rushed for 317 yards on 87 carries and caught 13 passes for 103 yards, which for back then were good numbers, pretty good numbers. And he formed really a close knit bond with Sayers, who was also struggling because of racial tensions, being a black player. They've had few in the NFL, but with Jim Brown, but Sayers was one of the first, and Sayers
was one of the. He wasn't one of the first black players, but he was one of the first breakout superstars, along with Jim Brown.
Well, they had Marion Motley. I mean,
there was a lot of black players at that point, but it was
not
as many of breakout players as like Gale Sayers was like. Gale Sayers, and by the way, he was one of the I don't know if you remember as a kid where you had the those little books, those biography books that they had the sport book.
I read Gale Sayers' biography.
Yes, right. Up. So I read, that's how I read Gale Sayers.
Yeah,
and I read obviously did you read the book Brian's Song?
I didn't read. I couldn't read it. No.
I read the book Brian's Song, and I obviously we watched the movie in school. I think actually.
Yeah, because it was initially a TV movie. It was a made-for-TV movie.
That's right.
And then it got released into movie theaters because of the ratings and the popularity of it. And it was, I believe, Billy D. Williams. It was like his breakout role, his first major role.
Oh, was it really? Okay.
Yeah, and it was also James Caan.
James Caan was Brian Piccolo. That's right.
Was Brian Piccolo, yeah. So because of the cast and the success, it got moved into movie theaters. But it was very, very hectic because he went undrafted, but he kind of expected to be drafted. This is when the NFL and the AFL were still separate. They didn't come together until I think 66,
right,
or 68. I can't remember. It was Vince Lombardi won the first two Super Bowls. So making the team was a pretty big accomplishment in 65. He expected more from himself. He suited up in 66, got very little playing time. Then they draft Gale Sayers. So he, could have gone into the tank. He may not have expected much playing time, but it only pushed him to work harder. And he formed a bond with Sayers, and they both pushed each other and developed just an amazing friendship. So Gale Sayers had also a very short career because of the devastating knee injury, but he's considered one of the greatest running backs in the history of the NFL. I mean,
maybe the greatest highlight film in the history of NFL highlight films
for the time that he played. And when you see him, return punts, return kicks, run the ball. I mean, he looked a lot like, he reminded me of Barry Sanders a lot when I remember watching him.
A skinny version.
Yeah. So he had a brutal, devastating knee injury in November 1968. But Piccolo had been playing 65. He was on the practice squad. 66, played a little bit. 67, he played a little bit more. And because he was backing up Gale Sayers. 68 was his biggest statistical year because Gale Sayers was injured, and Piccolo ended up starting, I believe, the final 6 games. And he posted career bests, 450 yards rushing on 123 carries, 3.7 yard average per carry, 2 touchdowns, 28 catches, 291 yards. So in 1968, they wanted to place the two in the same backfield. Piccolo was never technically a fullback. He was considered a tailback, just a backup tailback. So they moved him to fullback so they could have him and Sayers in the same lineup, same offense together. They were in the same backfield together. And players during this time were segregated by race at like hotel rooms. And the policy ended up for the Bears being changed, and each player was reassigned by position, mainly because Sayers and Piccolo wanted to room together. So that was huge, and other teams started to adopt it. So
Gale Sayers is one of the. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No.
One of the. It's actually an amazing human being. I mean, he like, what he did back then, and his success of beyond football too. By the way, because obviously his football career was short.
No, he's a great businessman. Yep.
Yeah, but like just a great
human being.
Yeah, really, just a great human being. Like he really. That's just who he's like. I listened to so many times when he's spoken and stuff. You're like, without ever knowing him. Obviously, we don't know anybody unless you're with him. But as far as what it seems like, he really is a great human being. Like it's a really an amazing story because of that. Like, and during a time where that wasn't, people don't understand it the way they understand it.
We did the show last night talking about the Afghan refugees and the Muslims. Multiply it probably by 100 for black people back in this era, the civil rights era, when it was just getting sprayed with fire hoses and beaten, and Rosa Parks and all the stuff that went down. It was just
you're right, and it doesn't
murder of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I mean, it was just anarchy. I mean, and crazy. And what's even sadder is Gale Sayers could have been, one of the best all-time leading rushers statistically.
No doubt.
His career ends up being cut short because of this knee injury.
Yeah,
because back then there was no minimally invasive surgery, nothing arthroscopic. They had to slice you open.
Right.
And he suffered a devastating knee injury. Piccolo was instrumental in helping him recover, rehab, and pushed him to get back. However, 1969 comes along. The Bears are not doing well. They are struggling. They are 1-13. And it is the worst record in the history of the franchise at the time. And I believe Hallis was still the coach. But what happened was Piccolo, he was having trouble breathing. He was having trouble catching his breath, and breathing while he was playing became extremely difficult. So he was sent to a routine exam, and they played an away game, and when they got back, they played at Atlanta, and when they got back, they sent him in just for a routine exam, and the doctor came in, and he was just shocked. He was like, I don't know how to tell you this. You have embryonal cell carcinoma. which Piccolo didn't know what it meant. He just said it doesn't sound good, and he's like, no, it's not good. But initially, he wasn't given the worst prognosis because it had not spread at the time. Back then, very little, was known about cancer, and they still used chemo and radiation to treat it, but they didn't have obviously the tools that they had today to fight it. So he underwent in November of 1969 a 4.5-hour surgery, and it removed a malignant tumor in his chest that was the size of a grapefruit. Jeez. And he had the procedure done in New York City at Memorial Hospital for Cancer and Allied Diseases, which was ended up being renamed Sloan Kettering in 1980. And the doctor, talked to him a lot. He helped him understand. He, didn't give him the grimmest of news because it hadn't spread. So, even Piccolo was thinking about, maybe I could come back to football. Maybe I could get my life back. Unfortunately, that did not happen. And the cancer diagnosis changed his outlook on life. While he did want to return to the Bears, he was most concerned about, he had a wife, Joy, and he had three young daughters, Lori, Christy, and Tracy, which is amazing. This guy had a young family, and I can completely. I mean, you can't relate. Well, I can kind of relate because I got similar news. But at one time, football is the most important thing in your life, and when he was quoted as saying, when you're lying on your back and you wonder whether you're going to live or die, and you're thinking about your 3 little girls at home and your wife, you come to discover there's more important things to football. So the surgery was considered a success. Unfortunately, the surgery is in November, and February, a lump was found on his chest, and he returned to New York. It was they didn't want to do surgery immediately. They tried chemo at the time for I think a month, and it didn't respond. So in March of that year, he underwent a mastectomy.
Oh, that's odd.
Yeah, very odd for a male. And he also had lymph nodes removed from his chest. It's still.
Once it goes to the lymph nodes.
It was still spreading. Yes,
right. Because once it goes to the lymph nodes, it's
in your bloodstream. Yeah. So in April, he had a third procedure. He had his lung removed. He had his left lung removed. Basically, as a last resort because it kept spreading. They couldn't control it. They were doing everything, but it's just crazy because this happened in November of 1969. All this goes down. The cancer spreads. The third procedure's in April. The lungs removed. Cancer continues to spread. In June 16th, 1970, he dies. And it was just unbelievable. He was 26 years old.
Jeez.
I believe at the time of his death.
What was the official cancer diagnosis? What was it?
It was called embryonal cell carcinoma.
Huh.
Which is he had trouble that year. He was playing, and they were 1-13, but he was having trouble breathing on the field, catching his breath, and it had gone on for weeks and weeks and weeks. And it was just random that they sent him to get checked out.
Right.
Yeah. So what happened? This was the main reason that the movie got made. Gale Sayers credited Piccolo. He rebounded in I believe after a season.
He was like comeback player of the year, I think.
Well, he led the NFL in rushing the year back with 1,032 yards, 8 touchdowns on 236 carries. And that was the year after his season-ending knee surgery. So it was unbelievable that he recovered. But it was before a game that was, late in the 1969 season. Gale Sayers was the one who informed his teammates of the severity of Piccolo's condition. And they dedicated the game to him, gave him the game ball. And then on May 25th, 1970, 3 weeks before Piccolo passed away, Gale Sayers, he was in New York to accept the George Stanley Hallis Award as the NFL's most courageous player. And during his emotional acceptance speech, Sayers, who was being honored for rebounding from his knee injury, told the crowd that it was Piccolo who deserved the award. And he took the trophy and he taped over his name, and put Brian Piccolo's name. And then he gave it to Piccolo in the hospital. And that was one of the last times he saw him. And, he said basically, you flatter me by giving me this award, but I have to tell you, I accept this for Brian Piccolo. Brian Piccolo is a man of courage who should receive this award. It is mine tonight. It is Brian Piccolo's tomorrow. And I love Brian Piccolo. I love all of you to love him. When you hit your knees, pray tonight. Please ask God to love him too. And, till the very end, he kept saying he's going to come back and he's going to be fine. So and it's even crazier. The movie was made November. It first aired on ABC November 30th, 1971. So, the guy died in 1970 and they made the movie, and it had the all-star cast. Billy D. Williams portrayed Sayers. James Caan was Piccolo. And they really focused on the friendship of the two backs. And they actually filmed during the Bears training camp at St. Joe's College in Rensselaer, Indiana. And there were several players who appeared in the film. Dick Butkus and a couple other players. The movie won 4 Emmy Awards and nominated for several others. So then it was released in the theater. I was trying to see who the author was of the book. It was a woman who wrote the book. But basically after that happened, Sayers and Piccolo's widow spent time. They were always there throughout life. And even James Caan and Billy D. Williams spent time with Piccolo's widow and his kids.
Did they really?
Yeah. It was just a horrible story, and they wanted to know about him. They wanted to learn about
horrible story.
Yeah, yeah. And it was a 2011 Sports Illustrated article where Steve Rushin wrote, Brian's song made it okay for men to cry, writing that the movie joined pepper spray and kidney stones on the very short list of things guaranteed to induce tears. He said that Walter Cronkite watched the movie, and he was even cried. He even cried. He was even touched by it. And this is the guy who had to report the death of President Kennedy. So it went from being the Tuesday night movie of the week, and it brought black men and white men, black women, white women together, and then they ended up putting it in the movie theaters. So after all of this, Virginia McCaskey, Hallis died, McCaskey lived on, and she was always there for Joey Piccolo. She said that they never paid a medical bill. George Hallis took care of everything, all his treatments, and the rooming together was suggested by them that really changed the league and helped white players and black players to get along. And right. Virginia McCaskey was by Piccolo's side when he was in the hospital. Who? And Virginia McCaskey, who ended up being the Bears owner, she was instrumental in the creation of the Brian Piccolo Cancer Research Fund. So it was.
They remade this movie too.
Yeah, I didn't like the remake.
I didn't see that. I didn't see it.
Yeah. So after he died, Virginia was always there, always supportive, said to, you're always going to be taken care of. They set up college funds for the daughters. George Hallis was called Papa Bear by Piccolo's kids. And his legacy includes cancer research funds and awards presented by the Bears and the ACC in name. His number 41 and one of is one of 14 uniform numbers retired by the Bears. The research fund was created in 1970, and it has raised, I believe, $13 million to this day for cancer research. And there's also a $10 million fund, or a $3 million fund that was created in Wake Forest. And they have a website, and you can still donate there. So, what? Wow. So talk about, yeah. So after you write your check to the Afghan Relief Fund, you can send your money there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You did such a good job of that. I almost cried.
I'm sorry to inform you that you've already consumed your allotted calories for 2026. Thank you. Boom. Roasted. Yeah, I got roasted. I actually consumed my calories for 2028 through 2030 as well. So
I would say I probably consumed enough calories to 2080.
You can cross that off the list. So yeah. It's Darsky.
Some people are not nice to us, Steve.
No, I thought it was Dan Orlovsky. I thought it was Mr. Orlovsky. Mr. Orlovsky had surgery. I was gonna check in on him. But yeah, I mean, just I can't imagine being 26 years old. You go undrafted. You're 10th in the Heisman voting. You work your way up. You befriend Gale Sayers, and then in just 2 short years, it's over. It's gone.
I thank every day that I'm alive.
I mean, you really don't know. Life is that precious. Life is that short. It can happen in a month, a year, a minute. You never know. You never know. Every second you are given on this earth is a gift.
No doubt.
Because there are people like Brian Piccolo faced with just unimaginable circumstances. A man with a wife and 3 young kids, and did everything right. Wasn't a partier, didn't drink, didn't smoke. He went to a good college. I believe he graduated. And he wasn't, one of those guys bitter about being a free agent. He was grateful to have an opportunity to play professionally, and he made the most out of every opportunity he got. And it's just crazy to think, to be diagnosed in November of 1969 and you're dead in April of 1970. That's what's like, Jesus.
Sobering.
It is. It's unimaginable.
You're on top, right? On top of the world.
Yeah, I mean, you filled in for Gale Sayers in 68. You had the best year of your career. 69 was a down year because of the injury and everything. Gale Sayers, he ends up winning NFL comeback player or most courageous player. He gives the award to Brian Piccolo basically on his deathbed. He dies a few days later. I mean, that just shows the relationship that was cultivated with them. And it wasn't like, lifelong friends, like guys that you were friends with in high school, guys you were friends with in college. I mean, they were friends really for 3 years, and they formed that kind of bond, that kind of relationship. And the book and the movie taking it mainstream is what got the story out there, helped raise money for the fund, took care of the wife and kids, and they still have a relationship with the Bears. I'm assuming his wife probably isn't alive, but the kids probably are. But
yeah, I think she actually. I was looking at it as we were. That's why.
Yeah, because it was the 50th anniversary. They mentioned the 50th anniversary recently, unless I read the thing wrong. Okay. Yeah. I'm just checking to see if it says anything about his daughters. But the daughters have worked various events tirelessly to help raise money for the Brian Piccolo Cancer Research Fund. So yeah, that's wow. Talk about a Bloodlines and Betrayal. I mean, that's just sad.
Right.
That's just sad. That's just sad.
It's such a sad story, and
yeah. Courtney Williams wanted to know if you were going to the bowl game. I said I didn't think so.
I got the game that day.
You weren't going to go to that bowl game anyway.
I have nothing to do.
You would have drove to Boston to watch them play Army? Yeah, he froze. I'm sorry.
I froze?
No, you're good. I didn't expect you to drive to Boston to freeze at Fenway to watch a freshman quarterback.
Like hang out, so.
Yeah. Well, you're going to be meeting up with Sean. You're going to be meeting up with Sean in New York City, so we got that to look forward to. Sean Van Dever from Afghan Evac. You're writing him a big check. He's getting a big check out of you. He's excited. He's excited about that.
I'm gonna have to lock my doors that weekend, so it doesn't arrive asking for a check.
No.
I liked him, by the way.
He was awesome. He was awesome.
He's not going to get much done with America on this. I think just because it's a very
he's gotten a ton done. Not
anymore under this.
No. But when I read up on it from 2021 through now, I mean, he was getting thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people out on flights, and
it's a sad situation, but
no, it is. It's just it's crazy that and the clips did well too. The clips that I posted did very well. But yeah, so you're going to be around for Christmas, and then you have basketball after?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
Your boy Nathan Grella sent me.
I got to double check and see if I can find a way to use two cameras for this tournament on the 26th. And go watch the game Saturday. There's nothing else going on until New Year's Eve. Maria I'm going to do the show with Maria tomorrow, just her show. We won't do Husky Hoops, but she wanted to do her show because I think she's leaving for Puerto Rico.
The Maria show?
Yes. And then Julius is going to want to do his show Thursday. So I'll send you that.
I set up the whole thing from a tournament standpoint already.
What do you mean?
Julius stuff?
Oh, you mean for the 5v5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just need the dates. Because you said you said so. No, you said it. You did send it to me.
Maybe I didn't. Let me see, Julius.
You said it was over the summer.
No, spring,
right?
Well, isn't that when he does it?
Yes.
Mr. Cully.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you did. You did send it to me. I think if this is it. Oh, yeah. Okay, I got it. Yep. Zorts. Do you have a team, a 5v5 team?
I'm running the tournaments. I haven't put together a 5v5 team.
But there's going to be a Jersey team there.
There'll be teams, yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Marge. Yeah, Marge.
Well, no. I just they like to, if there's 5v5 teams, they like to get them part of their coalition. That's why I would suggest if they would be open to talking with them, to because they're trying to grow 5v5 and they want to get all the teams involved in the coalition so everyone can get invited to events and know what's going on.
Got it.
Is that something they would be interested in?
I sent it to events, so I just sent it to you now too.
Yeah, I have the events. I'm just saying, do you think that they would be interested in joining the coalition? There's no price or anything. It's just being part of the coalition of the 5v5 groups.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And you think there's 3-5 teams that'll be there?
That's what I'm beginning to promote, right?
Okay.
No,
I didn't. I didn't know if you had prior relationships with 5v5 groups. So okay. So you would like, we know, I know the coach of the Pittsburgh 5v5 team. I know the coach of the Mass 5v5 team. There's one in Ohio. They would all come to an event.
Yeah, that would be great.
So you would want that. Okay. All right. I'll reach out to them. I will let Julius know. And do you know how to score it? Do you know how it's done that way, or?
I was going to make my own system up, but I'm sure he has a way he does it.
Okay. All right. But there's enough room where, they can rotate through, and I think they usually do 8 to 10 rounds. So if 10 teams come, there's no problem.
No, it doesn't matter. No big deal.
Okay.
No big deal at all.
Okay. All right. I will contact him. I will let him know. I will send him the website, and you can sign up right on the website or register your 5v5 team.
Yep.
Okay.
Right on it.
Okay. The only question
cool.
they like to make a weekend out of it and try to see a college while they're there. Is there a school that you would recommend them going to see? They have kids at Rutgers, but
yeah. Bobbin?
Okay.
They're right by me, FCS.
Monmouth is FCS?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. Who do they play?
They're like in the Big South, I think. No, CAA.
Wow, I didn't think my uncle knew that.
Yeah, that world's changed, huh?
Oh yeah, no, I know they have great facilities. I didn't know they were FCS. Jesus, wow. All right, well, have a good Christmas.
Have a great Christmas, man. Go enjoy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean,
don't let Troy fart anymore.
oh, I farted on your bed. My arms are
Don't.
getting gunned up here.
Yeah, you're getting gunned up. I know the women are going to be beating you away. You're going to be fighting them off with a stick. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'll talk to you afterwards.
Yeah, I'll figure that thing out. Now that I have a little time, I'll go.
Yeah, no, I'll let Julius know, and there's plenty of teams, and there's going to be we're trying to get a Connecticut team going too, and hopefully I can talk Frank into doing it, but we'll try.
That's a whole
different. I think we could get 10 kids, 15 kids. I mean, come on. I mean, I just worry about them getting destroyed and coming back from it. But Julia said that's part of the process. They got their asses kicked too. So for a banner Bloodlines and Betrayal, Brian Piccolo story, Coach Schumann, I'm Steve Cully, best podcast host in the universe. Remember, Merry Christmas. When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges and throw eggnog back.